And we are back. Week 6, the spread, college football. I'm George. Usually I say this is Will, but special announcement. Will has been suspended a few weeks. Very sad. We caught him actually taking PEDs. He was crushing up Adderall last week, snorting it. He wanted to get any edge possible to win. We're not going to have that here. Okay, I'm joking. He did nothing like that. We're on the road this week. We're in Nashville, but without a doubt, let's get through this. So let's start this one off like we always do. Let's recap who had the sauce, brought to you by Torchbearer Sauces. Accidentally healthy, intentionally delicious. Who had the sauce? You want to know, we have it for you without a doubt. It's Ole Miss, right? They had the sauce. 700 yards of offense, 55 points scored, 0 turnovers. They had all the sauce they want. Number 2, Ray Davis, running back, Kentucky. He was a portal guy, left Vanderbilt. Don't blame him. That place stinks at football. But he does not. He's going to play in the NFL. Stat line against the University of Florida, 26 carries, 280 yards, 10.8 carry, 3 touchdowns. He led the charge, absolutely blew Florida out of the water. Who did not have the sauce? Florida Gators. Terrible. Lost to Kentucky, 33-14. Defense was terrible. Quarterback play was terrible. Running game was terrible. Terrible. No sauce. They're in big trouble now in their recruiting class. You better get that NIL money up. Get it up in the swamp. See what you can do with it. Keep those kids locked in. But we'll see what happens. Okay, before we get to the Power 3, because we're going to have a little bit less games this week, we're going to have a condensed schedule. Last week's record's really quick. 5-1. I'm seeing the field. I'm picking off the safety. I'm hitting them deep. 5-1. Great week. Easy money. 1-1. I'm getting a little mojo back. So let's not waste any more time. Power 3 time. We're going to go start right off. We're going to Missouri. Number 23, LSU. 6.5-point favorites on the road at Missouri. Over under 64.5. So what do we have for you today? LSU's defense, terrible, trash, garbage, whatever adjective you want. That's what they are. Over 700 points. 700 yards, 55 points last week. We've been telling you for weeks, LSU's defense is not an LSU's defense. So can't count on them. Offense, though, different story. Jalen Daniels, electric. Yes, electric. 1,700 yards on the season so far, 16 touchdowns, 2 picks. But he takes a lot of sacks, takes 12. Keep that in the back of your mind. Holds on the balls, trying to hit home run every time. But LSU can run the ball. That's the other factor, too, especially in this game. LSU is almost around 1,000 yards this year so far, and they average almost 5.5 a carry, 13 touchdowns on the ground. So we know what they're good at. Defense stinks. Offense good. Missouri, what do? They play some good defense. They're only giving up 74 yards on the ground on the average per game. They're only giving up 20 points a game there. Now, on offense, they don't turn the ball over much. They don't make many mistakes. Their quarterback, now, how many people know about this guy, Bradley Cook? Yes, Bradley Cook. I was going to say Bradley Cooper, not Bradley Cooper. Bradley Cook, 74% completion rate, 11 touchdowns, 0 picks. So they don't like to turn the ball over. But here's what's going to happen in this game. LSU is going to score a boatload of points. Missouri's not going to be able to keep up. I think LSU is going to bounce back again after a tough loss. 6.5. Give the points out. You're good. Take the over. LSU plus 6.5, minus 6.5, and the over. Let's jump. Let's go to Texas A&M, right? Alabama coming into town. Nick Saban coming into town. Number 11, they're a 2.5-point favorite in College Station, over under 46.5. Now, Nick Saban, we all know, is 5-1 against Jimbo. Jimbo's last victory coming in College Station, 2021, where that was a great game, 41-38. Texas A&M pulled it out. What are we going to see in this game? Alabama, their defense is quietly has gotten things under control. They're holding teams right now under 200 yards in the air. So they're doing a great job there. The running game, they're holding teams to 3.3 a carry. And they're only giving up 14.2 points a game. That's in the top 20%. So we gave them some hell this year on the show. Kevin Steele, Nick Saban worked together. The defense is humming along. Now the offense, it's one word you say, stinks. No quarterback. Even the running game is not the Alabama running game of the past. So we have these two factors. Defense has stepped up. Saban's going to want time possession, don't turn the ball over, play action, hit some balls deep. No mistakes on offense. Just keep us in the game, and we'll keep the other team down. So that's going to be their game plan. Now, A&M, a little bit different. Offense is humming along, 38 points a game. They're staying on the field. They're doing a great job. What they're doing really well, considering that Wegman's out, they're running the football great. Now, Wegman's out for the year. Brad Johnson's son's back in the game. He did well against Arkansas last week. But remember, he comes from the school of Nick Saban. All those guys, they want to be able to run the football. They almost want a 50-50. Even though I know the spreads, everything, they want the up-tempo, they want everybody to get into the huddle, they still want a great running game. So think about this. A&M loaded, right? They haven't lived up to the expectation. But this Saturday, they're going to live up to it. I love Texas A&M. Take the 2.5 and take the over. I think it's going to be a great game. And I actually think A&M's going to win that game. But, hey, you're getting the points. Take them while they're there. So this is the premier game we're going to talk about this week. 12 o'clock Eastern, you got the Red River Shootout, number 12 Oklahoma. They're going into Texas. Texas is number 3 in the country, and they're giving out 6.5 with the over-under 60.5. Last year in this game, not too close. Not too close at all. 49-0 Texas. Ewers had 4 touchdowns, looked great. They ran away with it. Brett Venables' first season as Oklahoma coach did not too good in this game, but they've really rebounded. The stout defense that he did in Clemson, Venables, of course, that's come to Oklahoma now. And what I mean by that is they're giving up 10 points a game. Last year, they were averaging 30 points a game. Huge improvement. Nobody's running the football against them. They're averaging like 3.2 a carry. Third down defense, they're getting off the field. Teams are only converting 27% of the time. Heck of a turnaround. What does all this mean on offense, though? Dylan Gabriel, lights out. He has been a phenomenal transfer over from UCF. 15 touchdowns, only 2 picks, 1,600 yards. They're 7th in the country in passing, 47 points a game. That's tops for number 3 in the country. They're scoring points. They're doing a great job, and they're playing outstanding defense. Might be a byproduct of their schedule so far, but hey, who you play is who you play. You put your points up, that's how you do. Now, Texas, let's talk about them. Really quick, their defense, phenomenal too, 12.8 points a game. They're top 20 in most defensive categories across the board, except takeaways. They don't turn the ball over. It's a little concerning. They have great athletes on that side of the ball. It's just not clicking. Ewers, their quarterback, 10 touchdowns, 1 pick. Now, again, I keep saying this over and over, but Sarkisian, he's another product of Saban. They want to be 50-50. So that when they went into Tuscaloosa earlier this year, what'd they do? It was a 50-50 split between run-pass, and they won going away in Tuscaloosa. Now, one big thing came out of last week's Texas versus Kansas, who watched the game. Yes, Texas struggled up to the third quarter, but they found their cowbell. Jonathan Brooks took that team, put them on their back because they're probably looking ahead to this game. 21 carries, 218 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's the cowbell that Sarkisian wants to replace Robinson, who now plays for the Atlanta Falcons. So he's the guy. So what does all this mean? All these numbers, all these stats, who's this, who's that? Simply put, this is Texas' game to lose. So this is what you do with this one. You take Texas, you give the 6.5 out, and we're actually going to take the under here. I think we're going to take the under. I think Oklahoma's going to struggle for one big reason. This is the first top tier they're going to play against. Their early schedule, I think, is going to come back to bite them. They haven't got road tested yet. And we all know Texas went into Tuscaloosa, and they beat them and actually beat them pretty good. So that's our pick here. We're going to close down the Power 3 this week. We love our picks here, but we're not going to let you off the hook. We got 2 easy monies for you. Number 1, the University of Miami plays Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech comes in. The spread here is 20.5. You take those Miami Hurricanes. You take Taylor Van Dyke. You take that running game. You take that offensive line. They're going to cover that spread. And the next one we're going to go to back to Athens, Georgia. Kentucky comes in this week. I believe the spread's 17.5. Georgia's favored. You take that as Kentucky. You take the plus 17.5. I still don't believe in Georgia's offense. I know they came back last week. They still didn't cover. They haven't covered any of these big SEC teams yet. And I think it's going to continue this week. So those are my easy monies. That's it. Lock those bets in. But before you do anything, subscribe to the channel, man. Let's have some fun. Every week we're going to bring it to you. Subscribe to the channel. Have some fun. We love having you guys on here. But remember one thing again. lock those bets in. Lock them in early and often. Best of luck. See everybody next week.